I never expected my quiet afternoon at the pharmacy to spiral into a full-blown confrontation. But that's exactly what happened the moment Karen walked in. From the second she strutted through the automatic doors, it was clear she believed the world revolved around her. Not a word of greeting, no patience for the line she cut into. Just a sharp, entitled gaze that seemed to demand attention. She wasn't just any customer. She claimed VIP treatment, and she was determined to prove it. It all started when I noticed her approaching the counter with a sense of theatrical urgency. Karen had a list in her hand and a look of disbelief on her face, as if the pharmacy itself had personally failed her. I overheard her huffing at the front desk, insisting she was entitled to immediate service. "I shouldn't have to wait like everyone else," she declared loudly, waving her prescription around like a golden ticket. Heads turned. Some people chuckled. Others rolled their eyes. The pharmacy manager, a calm but firm woman named Lisa, stepped in to address Karen. She greeted her, politely but without surrendering, to Karen's demands. That's when Karen really went into full mode, speaking faster than anyone could process, her voice rising with every word. She wanted her medications filled first. She wanted extra samples, and according to her, she deserved a private consultation right there in the lobby. The irony? The pharmacy had never offered VIP status to anyone. This was entirely Karen's imagination. People started whispering, phones subtly lifting to record the unfolding spectacle. Karen's sense of entitlement seemed to grow with each second she spent complaining. But Lisa, the manager, didn't flinch. Instead, she calmly explained the pharmacy's policies, highlighting that service was first come, first served, and that everyone's prescriptions were important. Karen's face contorted with disbelief, as if hearing rules she hadn't personally drafted was a personal attack. Then came the real shocker. Karen, refusing to accept the manager's explanation, demanded to speak to corporate, right there in front of everyone. Her voice echoed across the small pharmacy, creating a scene so tense that I half expected security to be called any second. Lisa remained unshaken, typing rapidly on the computer and addressing Karen's concerns one by one, without ever raising her voice. Watching her handle the situation was mesmerizing, calm, confident, and unyielding. By the time Karen realized she wasn't going to get special treatment, she tried to argue again, this time louder and more dramatically, as if volume alone could bend the rules in her favor. People in line began murmuring, some stifling laughter, others shaking their heads. It was the ultimate clash of entitlement versus professionalism, and Lisa was winning without even breaking a sweat. Karen's eyes narrowed. I could tell she was scheming her next move. Would she escalate it further? Or would she finally realize the pharmacy wasn't going to bow to her demands? Just when I thought Karen had reached her peak of entitlement, she decided to escalate. With a dramatic sigh, she turned toward the other customers in line, as if their very existence was part of her personal injustice. "Do you see this?" she exclaimed, waving her prescription like a flag of defiance. "They're treating me like a common customer. I demand VIP service." Her words carried a sense of indignation so exaggerated, it almost felt scripted. Almost. Lisa, the manager, didn't flinch. Instead, she offered a polite but firm explanation. "Ma'am, we serve all customers in the order they arrive. Everyone's prescription is important, and we cannot give preferential treatment." Karen's face twisted into a mixture of disbelief and fury, as if Lisa had personally insulted her very identity. "I don't care about your policies," Karen shouted, leaning over the counter as if sheer proximity could bend the rules. "I should be treated differently. I'm a valued customer." At that moment, the entire line had grown restless. Whispers and side glances spread like wildfire. One elderly man muttered under his breath, "Here we go again," while a young woman behind him rolled her eyes so hard, I thought she might sprain something. Karen, of course, interpreted this as admiration and validation of her VIP status. She straightened, chest puffed, clearly preparing for her next dramatic maneuver. Lisa, however, didn't flinch. She calmly picked up the phone and made a call to corporate, just as Karen had demanded, turning the tables in a subtle but brilliant way. "Yes, I'd like to discuss a difficult customer," she said, her tone neutral but authoritative. Karen's eyes widened in horror, realizing that instead of kowtowing to her, Lisa was using her demands as an opportunity to maintain control. Karen, refusing to back down, began pacing behind the counter area. Each step seemed calculated to draw attention. "I want compensation," she yelled. "I shouldn't have to wait. You're clearly discriminating against me." The absurdity of her claims made it hard not to smirk. But there was something magnetic about watching this drama unfold. It was chaos wrapped in entitlement, and Lisa was orchestrating it with quiet mastery. At one point, Karen even attempted to confront other employees, pointing at their badges and demanding explanations for why she wasn't getting special treatment. This is ridiculous. How dare you? She shouted, completely ignoring the mounting impatience in the line. It was like watching someone audition for a role in a reality show that no one wanted to be part of. Finally, Lisa finished her phone call, hung up, and faced Karen with a calm smile. Corporate supports our policy, she said softly, but with enough firmness that Karen's fury seemed to falter, just slightly. The tension in the air was palpable. Could Karen recover from this? Or was she about to reach her breaking point? Karen's fury had shifted from frustration to full-blown theatrical meltdown. She stomped her foot as if the floor itself had betrayed her, her voice rising so loudly that every customer in the pharmacy turned to stare. "This is unacceptable! I demand satisfaction! I want, she sputtered, her words trailing off as she searched for the next dramatic demand. Each pause seemed choreographed to maximize attention. Lisa, the manager, remained composed. Her posture was straight, her voice calm, almost soothing in contrast to Karen's explosive energy. "Ma'am, I've explained our policy multiple times," Lisa said firmly, her eyes never leaving Karen. "We can't offer special treatment, but we will ensure your prescription is handled promptly and safely, just like everyone else's." The contrast was striking. Lisa's calm efficiency against Karen's chaotic entitlement. Karen, however, refused to accept logic. She moved toward the pharmacy shelves, grabbing a bottle of over-the-counter vitamins, waving it in the air as if it were evidence of some grand injustice. "Do you see this?" she demanded, holding the bottle high. "This is what I should be getting first. Why is this allowed to happen to me?" Her voice cracked at the end, emphasizing her self-imposed martyrdom. The customers in line were now openly reacting. Some were trying not to laugh, while others whispered about calling security. A few even discreetly recorded the spectacle on their phones. Karen's sense of importance seemed to grow with every pair of eyes watching her, fueling her next dramatic move. She stormed back to the counter, leaning heavily on it and glaring at Lisa. "You think you can ignore me?" she shouted. "I am a VIP! I will not be dismissed." Lisa finally stepped closer, maintaining a professional calm that only seemed to infuriate Karen more. "Corporate has confirmed that all customers are treated equally," she said evenly. "You're welcome to wait in line or schedule a private consultation appointment, which is the same for everyone." Karen's jaw dropped, and she looked around as if the room had collectively conspired against her. Then came the climax. Karen attempted to grab another prescription from the counter, claiming she had been overlooked. Security had been called discreetly by an employee earlier, and 2 guards appeared in the doorway. Karen froze, eyes darting between them and Lisa. "This is harassment," she yelled, as though calling it out loud could change the facts of the situation. Lisa calmly gestured to the guards. "Ma'am, please step aside so we can ensure everyone's safety." Karen huffed, dramatically but reluctantly moved, still complaining loudly as she did. The tension was palpable. Her tantrum was being contained, but the memory of her audacity would linger for everyone present. The line was quiet now, eyes shifting from Karen to Lisa with a mix of admiration and disbelief. People were relieved yet curious. What would Karen do next? Would she finally leave or escalate further? The tension in the pharmacy reached its peak as Karen glared at Lisa, daring her to make a move. But Lisa's calm, unwavering demeanor only amplified Karen's frustration. It was as if the universe itself had sided with professionalism over entitlement. Karen flailed her hands, ranting about unfair treatment, VIP privileges, and corporate negligence, while the customers in line watched in a mix of amusement and disbelief. Then Lisa spoke, her voice carrying authority and finality. "Ma'am, we've been patient, and we've explained our policy repeatedly. Everyone is treated equally here, and we will not make exceptions based on imagined status." Karen froze for a brief second, realizing her usual tactics, loud voices, threats, dramatics, weren't working. She tried to muster a comeback, but her words faltered, as if swallowed by the collective eyes of the waiting customers. Security subtly moved closer. Karen noticed them and gasped, throwing her hands in the air. "You can't do this! I am a VIP! You're all conspiring against me." But her words lacked conviction now, revealing cracks in her once unshakable confidence. The theater of entitlement that had filled the pharmacy just minutes earlier was starting to collapse. Lisa didn't raise her voice or argue. She simply nodded to security, who politely asked Karen to step outside while her prescription was processed. Karen's face turned red, not with exertion, but with embarrassment. She looked around, expecting empathy or support from the onlookers, only to find stifled chuckles and sideways glances. Her imagined audience of admirers had evaporated, replaced with quiet judgment. The final blow came when Lisa addressed the room, her tone calm but pointed. "We welcome all customers and treat everyone with respect. Disruptions, threats, or demands for preferential treatment are not acceptable. Karen's shoulders slumped. No grand exit. No dramatic proclamation of injustice. Just the slow realization that her VIP fantasy had no place here. As Karen finally stomped out the door, muttering indignantly to herself, the line exhaled collectively. Customers exchanged knowing smiles and soft chuckles. Some complimented Lisa on her poise and patience. Others simply shook their heads, still amazed at the sheer audacity they had witnessed. The pharmacy returned to its normal rhythm, the chaos leaving behind only the faint memory of Karen's over-the-top tantrum. I watched from the line, impressed. Lisa had handled the entire situation with a balance of firmness and grace that few could manage. She hadn't yelled, argued, or lost control, yet she had completely neutralized Karen's entitlement and restored order. It was a quiet victory, but one that resonated far beyond the walls of the pharmacy. Karen may have left thinking she had made a scene, but in reality, she had been outmaneuvered at every turn. And the lesson for everyone else? Entitlement only works until it meets calm authority. The pharmacy resumed its normal pace, the line moving steadily. But one thing was certain. No one in that store would ever forget the day Karen tried to claim VIP treatment and got called out in front of everyone. Wow, what a scene. Can you believe Karen tried to demand VIP treatment? If you enjoyed watching her meltdown, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps us bring you more crazy stories. Share your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever seen someone act like this in public? And make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, so you never miss our next wild HOA or Karen encounter. You won't want to miss what happens next.